Okay, let's carry on. Okay, let's pause it there again. In this scene, he's going to work, and obviously he exactly not liking his life at the moment, so he decided to have a bit more of a darkness outside. Obviously, there's still a bit of light. The street lights are still on now. Um, this scene was actually filmed that night, about 6 o'clock, and that was why we did it, because it was still just that little bit brightness in the sky, but just enough darkness to make it seem a bit more dull and dreary. We also changed the brightness and the contrast to complement it. Effectiveness of this, again, it's imagery, it's symbolism, it shows how dark and dreary his life is and how much he hates his life. So, we'll just carry on. Yeah, okay. I just want to go back just a little bit. No, just a bit. Okay. This is where he works, and the reason for that was the office building. I've also commented on this in another question, but it's effective because, again, it shows the target audience that he works in an office. As you can see, that easily office buildings. Again, showing his haziness just like the point of view shot in the bedroom, but except for this time round, it's showing how messed up he's been, what he's done. He's realising his mistake, or was it a mistake? And we let the audience ponder on that, and it gets an insight into what he's feeling at the moment. Very moving shot. The framing is also quite key because it's just showing his desk, just showing how barren it is. Um, he's got a computer on it, and just shows how dull again his life is. But now the audience have realised, they thought, oh, he might just be sleepy, or he just might be Daisy again. He's got no remorse for what he's done. But in this shot, it just shows the other side of him, and he loves his mom very much, and it's unknown what the reason is why he did it. Okay. Again, framing is also key in this shot. The reason for the framing was mainly because we wanted to get the garden scene in, um, the actual kitchen that we used, um, nice gate. This is what once was the remains of Debbie, and we want the audience to think that in the imagery and the symbolism. Um, I mean, you've got plants that are dying, as you can see down here. We actually filmed at the beginning of the winter for this shot, mainly because we wanted all the plants to be dead, and normally the garden's quite vibrant that we used. So there's one, two, three roses on there. That's all that's all there is. That's all that's left. It's as if like she's just fallen apart and gone on the floor. Gravel again, just showing that the garden is in a mess, and she is in a mess, her life is in a mess, and it shows Chris is in a mess as well. It's both their garden. I'd just like to comment on the ancillary task. In the photo there, I'd just like to say that as you can see, the cracks everywhere just show how messed up her life is and his life is, and the cracks between them. And that's really it for this shot. Oh, sorry. We also use the camera crane, as you see, coming down. We want to show a bit more of an aerial perspective. As you can see, the area around them is council housing. It's quite run down. There's flat sheds everywhere. Same for here. We originally thought the shot might not be able to make it into the final cut of the film, just because of the lighting, but we did end up continuing with it. It was actually shot 5 minutes of that crane shot. The effectiveness of it is really because it's showing the roses branching out, the roses branching up, and it's showing life really. And the only rose that's left, and she's deciding to pick it. She's playing with what's representing her life at the moment. And we didn't want any music over the top, any sound effects over the top. We wanted it just dying. This coincides with the kitchen sink drama, the adult drama. Again, just totally typical of somebody dying. That's all it was. We wanted that. We wanted that realism in it. Adam crushing that rose, that final rose that's left, and then throwing it on top of her. We didn't originally like this shot, and we ended up actually putting it in the final film, just for the effectiveness of him crushing that rose. Just that characterisation is key. And we're back to the kitchen scene, this time in a parallel universe. We're actually told that his motivation, he was angry to begin with, says slamming down the milk top bottle, just little things like that. And we did want him to be angry, and that left us then with this. And we also turned the contrast down and the brightness, which made the dark and dreary effect. We wanted to again lull the audience into not a false sense of security, but into a false idea of what they think is going to happen. If I was looking at this scene now and I hadn't created the film or whatever, I'd immediately go, dark, dreary, the character's angry, he's going to do something even worse. He might just stab her or shoot her, coinciding with traditional thriller conventions. But no. And one more point to point out, one more thing to point out here. Dark scenery is quite common with kitchen sink drama, adult drama. Looking at the film like This Is England, the contrast and the brightness has actually been turned down on that, or the lighting's slightly different. One more thing as well, in Kes, it's exactly the same, although obviously it was 1969, so the camera quality isn't as good, but it was still slightly darker. People thought he was going to throw it, but he kept it there, and you can see that light just blazing through there. Nice sound bridge now. Basically, and that is what we wanted. We did originally have in the rough cut. We had Adam talking to Debbie, and we wanted some interaction, but we felt that it wasn't actually needed, and we thought it might be a bit of a nicer change to have what she was like rather than what she is now. So that voice is actually taken from a while ago, and he's just remembering that in his head after he takes his tea to her every morning, every day, the same old thing. He's got his hot pot on again. And I'd just like to clear up, it's also like a parallel, it's meant to be a parallel universe. It's meant to be that. It's meant to be showing a different side of what's actually happened, or what might have happened if he didn't do the put, if he didn't throw it. Just skip back to that. We originally had some problems with this scene, but it's been cleared up now. Framing's key. It's dull, dreary, and black outside. But there's one thing I'd actually like to point out here. See these two lights? There's a red one, Rose, and then there's a blue one, Chris. Adam and Debbie, that's what they represent over there, and they actually change colour. They're actually like a mood light. That one turned green. Originally, we didn't actually mean for them to be there. I was only looking at it like that, and the only reason I used this shot was mainly for those little lights down there. We kept the freeze frame at the end to show that closeness, and we wanted that last scene to act like realism. We didn't want it over the top romance, or we didn't want it over the top, I love you mom, I love you son, but rather a realistic makeup sort of thing. And we layered just some credits over the top of it, and it was a nice finish to the film. And then we faded out into black, faded out the music nice and slow. Eased the audience out.